Hey, Notnilc travel tourists! Welcome to another exciting Notnilc travel tours adventure. As always, my name is Matt, and I'll be your host. Up next, we travel to Morocco for a very safe and disease-free trip, as always promised by Notnilc Travel Tours, where we go for real, but we go virtually. We do both at the same time. This way, there's no risk of us getting put in jail. Now, this will only be the second time we visited any country on the continent of Africa via Notnilc travel tours. The second time, Morocco today. Remember, we already did Libya. Did you forget Libya already? You remember that camel ride? How they tried to rip us off? I say, I ain't paying no $8,000 for no camel ride. Hey, then you don't get no camel ride. Do you remember what they tried to do to us? We've been to Libya. Now, I'm taking a lot of flack. Like people are saying, you're racist. You're ignoring Africa. This isn't getting me off the hook because this also is considered like, we would say Middle Eastern, Northern Africa, part of the Middle East. The black population in Morocco is only 10% or less. It's probably about 8.5%. So people think I'm intentionally ignoring Central and Southern Africa. I'm not. Sudan is on my list. Ivory Coast is on my list. I consider that entire population like brothers from another mother. I'm not ignoring it. I'm not racist. Stop with the emails. Stop with the FedEx letters. Okay, guys, as usual, we start with the map to appropriately plan our trip, which will be June 1st. Now, Morocco is here. I'll zoom in just a moment. Morocco is here at the northwest corner of the continent of Africa. It's squeezed between this hellhole, Algeria, and this hellhole, Western Sahara. And this place down here, nobody can even pronounce, not even the people that live there. Mauritania. We go to Mauritania on a side trip. We ain't going to Mauritania. It's squeezed amongst a bunch of hellholes, but it's not that nice on it. But it's the shining star of this part of Northwest Africa. This is where all the hurricanes come from. We can check that out. See if there's gigantic Notnilc devices producing the hurricanes that wander across to Florida. We're going to take on June 1st a chartered aircraft from New York JFK across the Atlantic, and we're going to land here in Lisbon, Portugal. Now, you've heard of Lisbon. Remember the movie Casablanca? Humphrey Bogart? Everybody at Rick's Cafe was trying to get to Lisbon. Remember, you get that secret pass to get out of World War II? Remember Rick's Cafe? All the Nazis running around saying, pour me a gin or whatever, play it again, Sam. Play it again, Sam. They were trying to get here. Somehow Lisbon, I guess, it had escaped the horrors of World War II. Everybody's trying to get to Lisbon from, as we zoom in, can I move around here? Yeah, from Casablanca. See, now the movie makes sense. When you watch it again, you're going to love it because now you see what's going on here. You didn't have a clue the first time you heard it. Casablanca here is a city. Morocco, we'll visit it. No, there's not going to be a Rick's Cafe. That's a movie. We're going to go to Rabat, which is also a major city in Morocco, and Marrakesh. You've heard the song Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. We're riding on the Marrakesh Express. Take me to the Marrakesh. You've heard that crap. Where'd you see? Nobody knew. Nobody knows anything. Now all these pieces are all going to come together when we visit. It's a very safe, virtual, and disease-free trip. And see, once this area up here where it says Gibraltar, now that it's been Mandela affected, it's even closer to Europe. We're not going to see no Rock of Gibraltar in the middle of the ocean anymore. It's been Mandela affected. Now somehow it's part of Spain. But we'll be arriving here in Lisbon. Oh boy, the Australians are texting me. The Australians are emailing me. Australians, no, there ain't no charter from Sydney or Melbourne. I'm not catering to 5 of you from Australia that want to take the trip. Get yourself to JFK, New York, so you can get on the drunken plane. We're going to be drinking the whole way, or get yourself and meet us in Lisbon. Stop bitching, Australians, every time. When you can get a 400 or 500 person group coming out of Australia, I'll get your own charter aircraft. Until then, shut up. I'll put something in Brisbane and make you sons of bitches travel out there to get the aircraft. So, okay, we'll meet you in Lisbon. We'll be taking a short 1 hour to 45-minute flight down to either Rabat or Casablanca. Guys, although these trips are very fun, let's not forget our responsibilities here. What is the trip called? Notnilc Travel Tours. We have a responsibility to examine what the Notnilc is doing to the local society and culture. When we go into a country, there are 5 typical things we look for. We look for, number 1, colonial meddling from Western Europe over the last 600 years. We look for 2, a local or indigenous population that's been fucked over. 3, the lingering effect of colonialism in current society, like lost languages and lost culture. 4, an examination of how close our Notnilc travel tourist destination is inside the One World system. And 5, how real the people still are there on what we call our body-snatched scale. Oh no, French and Spanish protectorates. As Europe industrialized, Northwest Africa was increasingly prized for its potential for colonization. Hey, teacher, leave those Moroccans alone. France showed a strong interest in Morocco as early as 1830, not only to protect the border of its Algerian territory, it was in there too. It was in Algeria and Morocco, the French, with us. But also because of the strategic position of Morocco with coasts on the Mediterranean, the open Atlantic. In 1860, a dispute over Spain's Ceuta enclave led Spain to declare war, as they all do every other year. Do we have a war this year? Are we scheduled to? Notnilc, your script is embarrassing and an insult to my intelligence. Victorious Spain won a further enclave and an enlarged Ceuta in the settlement. In 1884, Spain created a protectorate in the coastal areas of Morocco. Why you keep calling it protectorate? What is being protected don't want to be protected. You know, they call Guam is called a U.S. protectorate. Now, Puerto Rico is not. That is a different legal status. Guam and the Northern Mariana Islands, the U.S. has all these protectorates. And the Guamese people say, I don't want to be protected. You know, Guam says, U.S., get the fuck out. That's what they did here. But, you need to be protected. You love me. I'm here to help. In 1904, Spain and France carved out zones of influence in Morocco, as they all do. Recognition by the United Kingdom of France's sphere of influence provoked a strong reaction from the German Empire. Which Reich was that? And a crisis loomed in 1905, as they all do. Every time we have a crisis scheduled for next year? Should we? The matter was resolved at the conference of 1906. The Agadir crisis of 1911 increased tensions between European powers. In 1912, the Treaty of Fez. Forget the rest of this. It's always the same story, isn't it, folks? I'm very sorry, guys. I forgot one. Because this is Notnilc Travel Tours and we have a responsibility to look for Notnilc sticky fingers everywhere we go, I forgot one of the most important ones. Number 6. How much of the same old narrative will repeat? And will that narrative include the numbers of a fake world, just like I just came across? 1911. Every time Jeff does research, this was 1933, 1911. It's like there's no other years in the world that anything happened. You just sleep through decades. Every time Jeff does research, it's like it's 1911 or 9's paired with that number in a different way. In the 1933, it's like, I'm terrified. That's what? That's 8 years. We're going to have 2033. I might not come out of the closet. Well, that didn't sound too good, but you know what I meant. I might stay inside for the entire year. One final paragraph here about the invading colonial devil. Tens of thousands of colonists entered Morocco. Tens of thousands. Here they come, the carpetbaggers from Paris with baguettes shoved in their suitcases. Here they come, board your doors, lock your daughters away. Some bought up large amounts of rich agricultural land. They didn't buy anything. They took it. While other French organized the exploitation and modernization of mines and harbors. We love you. We're just here to modernize your mines and harbors. Oh, come right in. Interest groups that formed along these elements continuously pressured France to increase its control over Morocco. They were trying to get more control over Morocco. There's an invading army already there. What more control could you ask for? What does this even mean? With some Moroccan tribes allying with the French, against other competing tribes that were trying to fight back, to protect their own culture. With some Moroccan tribes allying with the French, they gave the Vichy French the idea 35 years before it actually happened. The Vichy French, the ones that aligned with Hitler, the French are like, well, some of you Moroccans are cozying up to us a little bit too quickly. I don't think we trust you trying to get on board with us. We don't trust you. Well, you'll be doing the same thing with the Germans and the Third Reich about 35 years from now. We're giving you the Vichy French the idea. They got it from Morocco. The French colonial administrator, Governor General Marshal Hubert Unpronounceable, sincerely admired Moroccan culture and succeeded in imposing a joint Moroccan-French administration. Oh, sure, the Moroccans had real power. What's that scene in Gangs in New York? Is there anything above alderman? Oh, we can't put an Irishman above alderman. What a joint Moroccan-French administration? Really? Here's a typewriter. I'll dictate. You type. You Moroccan devils. Give me a break. They didn't give them any power. And this Marshal Hubert Unpronounceable, he admired Moroccan culture, really, by bringing an invading army. This is an insult to my intelligence and to yours. Several divisions of Moroccan soldiers, Goumiers. That's like that scene in Gags in New York too. What's this word here, Amsterdam? What's the word here? Sir, it means, I didn't ask what it means. What's the word? Ghoul. Ghoul? That's a great word. What the hell's a Goumier? That's somebody that's forced in the French army that didn't want to go. Here be the very first of several important pictures that I will show you from the Wikipedia article. The caption at the bottom says, Tangier's population in 1956 included 40,000 Muslims, 31,000 Europeans, and 15,000 Jews for a perfect powder keg, hate your neighbor situation that the Notnilc intentionally brewed up in Tangiers. For those that don't know, Tangiers is the city where you take the ferry from Spain, it comes to Tangiers. You can take a ferry from Spain. It's been Mandela affected. It's much smaller than it was in the old reality. Take the ferry across. It stops in Tangiers. I had a friend named Bo who did it. He had to hire a local thug. This is not a joke. If he's going back to Spain, the locals and the criminal, they mob the tourists coming off the ferry from Spain. So much so, a thug came up and said, I'll keep all these beggars and these poor devils away. They were all over him, like trying to reach in his pockets. He was with his girlfriend trying to impress. He feared for his life. This is not a joke. He almost feared for it. It was just so swarmed with people. And this thug was like, give me a $20 bill or whatever. I'll walk in front of you, and trust me, they know who I am. Nobody will come near us. And he said, gladly, sir, here's a $20 bill. I'm not even joking. It almost slipped by me, but did any of you happen to catch the mistake that the bot made in creating the caption that I just read? Let's do it again. Tangier's population in 1956 included 40,000 Muslims, 31,000 Europeans, and 15,000 Jews. Bot of the chat GPT that works with the Wikipedia bot, you can't mix and match. If you dealing in all vegetables, you deal in all vegetables. Cucumbers, carrots. If you dealing in all fruits, deal in all fruits. You can't say 41 bananas, 20 apples, and a steak. You mixed and matched. This isn't a creed. Europeans isn't a creed, you idiot. 40,000 Muslims, that's a religion. It's also called a creed. 15,000 Jews in this context is a creed. 31,000 Europeans, that's not a creed. It's not even ethnicity in this sense. It's geographical based, you idiot bot. Guys, take a break with me for a few minutes, and we'll do this on the side before returning to our regularly scheduled Notnilc Travel Tours Bat channel. This is very strange, and I scanned down the page, and it may get stranger. We talked about the ferry between Spain and Morocco. I wanted to just tell you guys basically how long it took. I was interested, after it's been Mandela affected, that Strait of the Med, how long it took now compared to the old reality, now that they moved the Rock of Gibraltar out of the way. And it said, AI overview, oh, hey, thanks. This will make it easy. I can get the information really quick. The ferry ride from Spain to Morocco, the ferry can take anywhere from 29 minutes, I was like, to 43 hours. 29 minutes to 43 hours. That gigantic range doesn't tell me anything. Depending on the route. Well, what retarded captain would take a route that would choose 43 hours? And I want to sample the passengers. I got a route that goes 29 minutes, or I got one that goes 43 hours. What would you guys like? Is it a retarded captain that samples the passengers? What? This doesn't tell me anything, this gigantic range. It's like asking somebody, if I decide to stay in school and get my master's degree, just go right from undergraduate to master's, how long do you think it'll take? Well, it could take anywhere from 2 years to the course of your natural life, depending on how many classes you pass and how many classes you take per semester. That doesn't tell me anything. Okay, I glanced down the page. This is just as strange when we go to other links. This is weird, folks. This might be a Mandela effect residual. I'm not joking. The next listing on page 1, Spain to Morocco ferries, 2025. The ferry duration is around 7.5 to 9 hours, and ferry tickets start at around 57 euros. So we have 29 minutes, 43 hours, and this is 7.5 to 9 hours. What else do we have? Here's the next one on the page. Morocco-Spain ferry. The ferry from Morocco back to Spain takes between and 66 hours, depending on the ferry route, operator if he's high or drunk, and ship that you choose. Is this how the AI, the Chat GPT, the Grok, and the Gemini has improved search results? You go back to Spain, it take between and 66 hours. I thought 43 hours was a lot. Make note, guys, now it's up to 66 hours. Here's the next one. How long is the ferry ride from Morocco to Spain? From Algeciras, Spain to Ceuta, Morocco, it takes between 1 hour and 1.5 hours on the ferry, depending on the company you choose. This one seems somewhat reasonable. The next one, ferry Spain to Morocco. The tariff, Donald Trump, the Tangier Ville ferry is the fastest way to reach Morocco. The fastest, it says, crossing approximately 1 hour and very simple boarding. Okay, this is reasonable. The next one, which I'm skipping and not showing you, says about the same as what we just saw, but stresses more closer to 1.5 hours. The next one, and the final one we'll do, taking the ferry from Spain to Morocco. You can expect 3 crossings daily across various ferry companies. Ferries leave in the afternoon and evening and take anywhere from 6 to 9 hours. Now, how is it we have everything from 29 minutes up to 66 hours with a wide range? At least we have some in the neighborhood of an hour to an hour and a half. But others that push well closer to 10 hours like this, is anybody saying, well, it depends on what city to what city, you jackass? Well, when you do a simple search, how long does it take to get from Spain to Morocco? Generally, it would be the shortest route. If I ask Google or ask anybody on the street, generally how long does it take to drive from New York City to Los Angeles, which I imagine if you drove like all the time would be like just over 3 days, 3.5 days. Is it going to say it depends on if you want to go down south of the border and buy fireworks and you want to drive up through Georgia to see the giant peach? No, it's assumed it's kind of the best and most direct and shortest route. Shouldn't have to emphasize that to the grok. Okay, guys, here's the flag of Morocco. It's a double vector Star Trek pentagram, which is nice. But this is strange, guys. I don't consider myself the most worldly person in the world. I've been around, though. I'm over 50. I did many different things in past life. I basically haven't left the house in 10 years, but take the last 10 years and put it aside. I'm relatively worldly. I've never seen this. Now, I'm not going to sit there and cry, Mandela effect. Oh, yeah, that Brady Bunch special never existed, and I would have seen it because I watched I love Marsha. I've never seen that Brady Bunch special, so it's a Mandela effect. I'm not going to do that. It is possible I just missed it. I'm just saying, no more, no less. It's odd that I've never seen this before. Not that Morocco is a prominent country. When I'm pouring through what Russians stove to build, Morocco doesn't come up very often. You understand what I'm saying, though. Okay, I've never seen the Moroccan coat of arms either, which is what this is, but this doesn't come up as much as a flag now, does it? This, by the way, is a giveaway of the one world system, a coat of arms. Why would it's 99% Muslim. They're Sunni Muslims, I believe, in Morocco. You can't just say Muslim, you have to differentiate between Shia, or in Philly they say Shiite, and Sunni. One group eats it, Bob's Big Boy, and one group will not. One group, that's halal. So this is a one world system giveaway. Why would a 99% Muslim country have a European style coat of arms with the same old lions? I mean, it's to me, it's the lineage of the one world system. Why would they even care about a coat of arms? Look what in 1300 some king in Tangier said, "Look what the European kings are doing. They got coats of arms. I'm jealous. I want one. I want the lion too. I want the double chicken head too." They just took it because they saw and thought it was cool. The Europeans were doing it. It was cool. Look at that prince. That damn prince in Buckingham Palace got a coat of arms. I want one too here in Rabat, in Casablanca. Why would they adopt it? It doesn't make any sense to me. It's all a one world system giveaway. I have to come back and add this in. I just thought of this as I was going away from the image. Hey, Moroccans, you ain't got lions. You ain't got lions in the territory. I know they ain't got lions in the UK either. They use that, but they're copying the UK and that royalty. When you use kind of what's indigenous or I could see like the Australians using a bunch of kangaroos hanging off the side of this thing. Or use camels. They got camels. I know somebody that took a camel ride in Morocco. My cousin taught at an American school in Marrakesh for a few years and took the camel ride, and she wasn't ripped off like that guy in Libya was going to rip off. Put the camels around. You ain't got no lions. One world system. Here's another picture of where Morocco is on the map, the northwest corner of the continent of Africa. And by the way, guys, the Sahara Desert, I mean, it starts at the southern tip of Morocco. I think they called it the Atlas Mountains. The Sahara Desert is that high up on Africa. And of course, the bottom part of the Sahara is maybe 1,000 miles down, and it stretches all the way across through Chad, through Niger, through most of Algeria, through most of Egypt. I mean, if you want to pick up some cheap land, some really cheap land, there's like 1,000 miles south of Morocco here, all across the Sahara Desert. Very, very cheap. All right, guys, let me just show you a real image so you can see the expanse of this thing, how big this desert is. And I was thinking, is anybody about to get on me writing the comments right now? He says Sahara. It's Sahara, Matt. Really? You so sure? In Philly, it's Sahara. When you want to take a camel across and we'll survey each little Bedouin tribe, how do you pronounce it? How should we pronounce it in Philly? It's Caribbean, some people, and it's the Caribbean. I think it's just fine in Philly. We say Sahara. People are probably trying to correct me in the comments right now. Look how big the darn thing is. It takes up almost the entire hellhole of Algeria. But see, Morocco, just the southern tip. Most of Morocco, those land values are much higher, closer to the water in Spain. Now, my cousin, remember, was a teacher. Why don't she teach math or English? It doesn't matter. It was an American school, not in Rabat, again, in Marrakesh. The American school in Marrakesh, for the expatriates and the people there from Exxon and everything. She was teaching at the American school because she couldn't speak the local language. A little bit of French. A lot of them do in the major cities. They speak a little bit of French because of all the French colonial influence and all those invading forces over so many decades. But my cousin took a camel ride, and she swears to this day they were taking the camel ride in the Sahara. Now, did she travel the 8 hours south to make it officially the Sahara? There's probably just a bunch of sand right outside. It's Marrakesh. There's probably a bunch of sand right outside Marrakesh. They sized her up as a tourist. She basically was. She worked there for 2 years. I mean, did she get to know the land intimately? No. So they told her probably this camel ride will be through the Sahara, and because I read it's on the other side of the Atlas Mountains. Trust me, you got to know my cousin. She didn't hike up no Atlas Mountains. Okay, so they just lied to her, but whatever. It was an extra $10. Oh no, guys, this escaped me the first time I was looking at the Wikipedia page. The colonial devil was in there long before we even thought. The Portuguese Empire was founded when Prince Henry, that's not a very Portuguese name. What's your name? I'm Portuguese. Henry. Doesn't make sense. Henry the Navigator led the conquest, there's that name again I can't pronounce, of Ceuta, which began the Portuguese presence in Morocco, lasting from 1415 to 1769. So it was these bastards. The Portuguese were there first, then the Spanish, then the French. Hey, teacher, leave those kids alone. What? 1415, these bastards were invading Morocco. Is anybody surprised? It's always the same story. Hey, Henry, you Portuguese motherfucker, leave those Moroccans alone. All you colonial powers, if I can put these words retrocausally back in history, get out and leave them alone. Okay, guys, now it's time to go visit some sites and see some places for real, virtually. That's why you paid your $666. It never goes up a dollar. The day it becomes 667, the tour is off. So rented a van. We're going out to our first stop, the remains of the Saad Sultan Ahmad al-Mansur's 16th century Badi Palace. That's a mouthful, my God. And somebody in the back of the bus is already a malcontent saying, "What is this? What? I've seen better hotels in Myrtle Beach. This ain't Matt, tour operator, this ain't shit." You know what? I'm looking out the window with you right now. Tour bus driver, get us out of here. This place, the Badi Palace, this ain't shit. Look at this guy. I didn't know this was here. We do this together. I didn't know what was coming. Another camel tour group operator, another rip-off artist. Look at how much do these people pay? This is the major GDP item for all these countries in North Africa. The guy there in the blue jumpsuit, he's got the first camel by a leash or something. I don't know if you can see this. He leads the first camel. All the camels smell the ass of the other one. He just leads you around in a circle. Like, how tour group operator? How far have we gone? Have we crossed the Sahara? No, we have to stay close to water. We have to stay close to these blazes. You don't want to go out there and there's no water out there. Haven't you ever seen Lawrence of Arabia? Oh God, look at this. You can't see the caption, but I can. It says the King of Morocco. Now, who knew Morocco had a king? You have a king? It doesn't make any sense. The European invaders, everybody that came down to screw you over, the Portuguese and the French and the Spanish, they have kings. They have Queen Isabella and all those bastards. But you're going to use the same titles? One world system. Hey, the Middle Easterners, they use sultan, whatever. Why are you using king? Why are you using the same name that was coined by your European invaders? Your European, I can't even say it. I want the video to load. And what's the matter with his face? I mean, do you remember in the movie Big Trouble in Little China? The first kung fu guy that tried to get Kurt Russell. It's like he was frustrated. It's like he took an air pump to himself, like and his head just got bigger and bigger and bigger, like a hot air balloon. This guy's got the same condition. It's called Big Trouble in Little China disease. Now look at this. Same script, same repeating themes. The caption says, Muhammad VI, a FREMM multi-purpose frigate of the Royal Moroccan Navy. Who would think they have a Royal Moroccan Navy? Look at the thing, Matt. That ain't nothing but papier-mâché and 2x4s. Has anybody ever seen it go anywhere? It does kind of look like papier-mâché and 2x4s, but a little bit more convincing than the way they constructed the lem. With the tinfoil, if anything were real, they wouldn't spend $100 million on a navy. If anything were real, which it's not. Have you ever heard me say one world system? But if anything were real, the Moroccans would say, look, we don't have the money for this. Let's just do a deal with the Americans and sign some sort of a treaty where we give them macadamia nuts and they can say if anything happens, their navy comes to our aid. That saves us a few $100 million so we can put in new water fountains in schools. If anything were real, it'd say, look, we can't do this ourselves. That just appease the Americans. Just, I don't know, send macadamia nuts all over Kentucky. And the Americans would, that's just, of course the Americans would agree to defend them because that creates more contracts for General Dynamics and Lockheed Martin and all the other fraudulent companies. But look at this. But Matt, don't you getting all worked up? That ain't nothing but papier-mâché and 2x4s. Look at it. It's probably doubles as a Halloween house on October 31st. Here we go. Let the repeating scripts and themes of this world continue. Yet another 2-bit country that has a rail system far superior to the United States. Remember I've told you about the piece of shit Amtrak that Pam comes down on sometimes? A few times you have to pick her up at the Paoli station when she comes from New York. There's a direct from New York to Paoli, which is like on the Thorndale R5 line. This piece of shit, the Amtrak, ding! Ding! It looks horrible. It smells horrible. It only goes about 55 to 60 miles an hour. In Morocco, they have a better railway system. Oh, we're the greatest and freest and richest country ever. Oh, give me a break. It's 1984. I just watched that horrible, horrible movie. By the way, The book is one thing. Don't. I made the mistake of I saw it many years ago of trying to watch the 1984 movie again. It's not that good. It's disturbing. It's horrible. And that woman, I mean, she needs, they what are they called, manscaping now for the hair. That bush, things could get lost in that giant thing. Don't ever see the 1984 movie. It's just horrible. Okay, tour group, back on the bus. Let's go see something else. Let's get your $666 worth. This is, 7 words, unpronounceable. I have no chance of pronouncing one word here. I'll just go right to what it is. A fortified village along the former caravan route between the Sahara and Marrakesh in Morocco. It is considered a great example of Moroccan earthen clay architecture and has been, oh no. It's been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1987. UNESCO Code ID Q309436. Folks, if anything is a UNESCO World Heritage Site related to the United Nations, something's not right. Something's not right with the story. It's riddled with lies. There's, in my opinion, and I haven't surveyed everyone, there's not one UNESCO World Heritage Site where what they're telling you is what actually happened. But now that I'm looking at it, I mean, maybe it's more of a museum type thing, which I'm thinking, of course, Notnilc free zone. If there's nobody living there and we can get the promise of, say, a few 220 lines and some basic air conditioning, Notnilc, if you're listening to me, and I know you are, we will consider this for Notnilc free zone if you make it available to us, which of course you can do by decree. Just call that king. Call that king before he gets his air pump back out to his face and tell him we want the Notnilc free zone right here. Tour bus driver, I need to talk to our group here. Does this bus have like a little PA system? Or you give me that CB radio thing so I can talk to our group here. Okay, tour group, I know you're hungry. It's been a long day. We've seen a lot of things. I have great news for you. In less than 15 minutes, we'll be arriving back in Marrakesh, and we're going to the #1 restaurant in Marrakesh known for its famous Couscous. You've heard of that. Couscous. That's what this is. I'm holding up a picture now. Question? What? Question in the back? What? No, they don't have American cuisine and burgers and dogs. Is it haram or halal? That's haram, man. They don't serve that shit. This is what they're famous for. You've heard of it. Couscous. I'm holding up another picture. What are you? This is it. Couscous. This is what we're going to eat. What? It looks like a gigantic bowl of bloating and gas. It is a giant bowl of bloating and gas, but that's part of the fun. If you want to starve, starve. This is what we're all eating. Now shut up. Demon worship or a soccer game? At the end of the day, is there really any difference? And what an appropriate way to close. Look at this. The Treaty of Wad Ras after the Hispano-Moroccan War, the war with Spain, 1859-1860. It bankrupted Morocco's national treasury, forcing the Makhzen, I don't know, the ruling party or the king at the time, to take on a British loan. Oh, you had to get a loan. To me, that was the purpose of the war itself. See, the one world system said to itself, we don't care about the spoils of any war. We don't care who wins or loses. We just want to get these Moroccans involved with our banking system as soon as possible. We're not looking for land or money. We don't need any of that. We need to get them in this endless cycle of debt and loans. Getting them involved with our bankers is the only goal of all these wars we cook up, of course. And there you have it. The moment the bankers got involved and got their sticky fingers in Morocco was so important to the Notnilc, they had to get a leading painter to come in and capture the moment. This is all they care about. Oh boy, approaching 33 minutes on the video. The first grade through third grade truth. I knew this guy was something wrong with him. Oh, I knew it. Oh, I better end it now. Guys, the next Notnilc travel tours, I promise, we will go deep into the heart of Africa so people can stop calling me names.